What are we doing?
What can you tell us about this kind of like post-practice session for the younger developers?
It's awesome. It's awesome. I picked 5 calls. I repeated them. So they got the same call twice, 5 times, 10 plays, and felt really good about really all 10 of them. The thing that was good is the ones we picked out, they were functional. What does that mean? Well, it's not 100 miles an hour, but it's starting to show some 11 working guys working as one. That's what you're really searching for. And you can tell because when they start playing fast, that's a positive. Now, like I just told them at the end, it's stressful. Here you are, away from home, some of these guys, first time, new system. And it's not like, hey, here's the 5 things for today. I mean, we put in 12 today. 12. So by the end of next week, we'll be in our 50s. Now, I'm not saying that. It's just we're a multiple defense. Now, there's a lot of common denominators, but there's a lot for the guys to learn. And you just don't want them to get discouraged. You want them to go do the best they can do. Now, as you notice, I'm fairly verbal on the field. All I'm doing is creating chaos. If they can't handle the chaos on the practice field, oh, coach is yelling at me. How are they going to handle playing on Saturday afternoon? You guys answer the question. If I was in the booth, I'd probably be scaling the booth to the ground. I've tried that once. Didn't work so well for me. I think I made it through a quarter and ended up coming down, and that was the end of that.
What would it take for some of those guys out there to move up the depth chart?
Well, they got to be athletic. They got to play fast. Now, they got to run to the ball. Now, that's easier said than done. Because you want all 11 going. And they got to have a degree of understanding of the concepts. If they can get to that point, we got 3-4 weeks to get them right. Now, my philosophy's always been, don't play the guys as a full-time player. Now that, you probably eliminate every one of those guys. You take the things that they're good at. Well, this guy is a good internal blitzer. He knows how to get skinny, put his hands on the hip, and rush the passer. Find a blitz that he can do just that. We got a guy that's a good edge rusher. Let him be the edge rusher. We got a linebacker that can cover. Put him in and let him cover. Don't put him in situations where they can fail. You put them in situations where they succeed on the field, and then what happens to them? The confidence rises, and then all the rest of that, it's a lot easier to coach. Make sense? You guys are all, yeah, it makes sense. A long time. It's just one of those things, you start thinking about, he doesn't do a good job covering the back. Well, don't ask him to. Does that make sense? So that's kind of that.
What's realistic in your mind in terms of how much this defense overall can improve from where it
Oh.
was a year ago?
I don't see. And with all due respect, because I love the coaching profession, I don't care about last year. We don't run that system. I don't even know what they run. I stopped watching it after the first few plays because it's completely different than what we do. So I can't equate it. Now, I can tell you this. We got a core group of guys that are getting better every day, and coach has done a good job allowing us to get some defenders in here that are going to be immediate helpers along with the core group, okay? So I can tell you I feel pretty good about where we're going, but we haven't put a pad on yet. We really haven't hit anybody yet. And, the strain of camp we haven't been challenged there yet.
Last question here. Are there certain statistical markers or goals that you have as far as, I don't know, yards allowed per play, total yards per game, sacks per game, any of those things that you view as targets or goals, points allowed, whatever the case.
First thing, win. How many wins you got? Second thing, you know, it's like when I went to BC, they're 128th in defense. 2 years later, we were first. That's all I'm saying. You can't get bogged down with all that. Just try to win the game, get your guys functioning at a high level. But I do feel this. If they don't buy in, okay, and I'm not saying they haven't because I really feel they have. But if they don't buy in, and I mean in, you got no shot. You got no shot. So the first thing is get them to buy in, get them to be competing animals in the classroom and on the field and feeling good about themselves, then we got a chance. You know, all I can tell you is at the end of the year, I'm an analytics guy, by the way. So every practice and all that, you know, everybody goes, hey, that Brown, he's old school. Wait a minute. We analytically look at every call at the end of every day. Am I right, Chuck? And we're trying to find out what are we operating well in, what do we need improvements in, what concept, you might as well take that one and throw it over your shoulder because it's not working. You know, that's really what you're trying to do is just give your guys a working menu. I will say this, I've been extremely pleased with the back four. I think we've increased our depth at linebacker fourfold. And up front, I just like the way they're playing. And I like Zero. He's my man right there. Okay.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay.